Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the fiercest film competition on the internet. It's Blockbuster Pick-ems.
That's this one.
Hold on to your pants.
No.
Hold on to other clothing.
I got the table.
Items.
No way.
Grab the bucket. Someone grab the bucket.
Just hold on to stuff.
I got my pants.
We're
It's
losing
about
it.
to get
losing my
wild in
pants.
here. This is Blockbuster Pick-ems. That's right. Blockbuster Pick-ems.
You can't tell from there, but my pants fell
That was
off.
good.
Yeah,
I'm
we did.
David.
I want you to hold on to it.
I'm a happy-go-lucky film guru here in
So
this fierce
happy.
competition.
Not so
to my
go-lucky.
right is one of my co-film gurus, Lauren.
That's me.
Lauren
Hello.
Decker.
Hi. Hello.
Over here, the bearded man in the corner, Michael Fisher.
Hey, everybody.
Two-time champion and an all-around decent dude, Matthew Sanford.
Thank
No
you,
cheering.
Ken.
Boo.
Silent
Hear them,
introduction
I can
there.
hear them.
This is a great
I can
podcast.
hear
Matt
them.
sits and smiles and waves his hands around.
Got awkward.
Welcome, Matt.
Dead
Hey,
air.
Dave.
You even hear his voice?
Hey, Mike.
So, for
Hey,
those
hey,
of you
Matt.
who
Hey,
don't know, we're at the end of our season. We've made our final picks, and we all know who's going to be in the final game.
Hey now.
You don't. So we get to hold that over you for a little while here.
Not too long though. You'll know soon.
Yeah,
Holding.
we kind of have to have a show. So before we get into it, this is the game we have been playing for 10 solid weeks. It's called Blockbuster Pick-ems. What do you do?
What do
Well,
we do?
What do you do, Dave?
Well,
I
every
know.
weekend from Friday to Sunday, we go ahead and predict what's going to happen in the weekend box office.
Wowzers.
So if you pick you pick 5 films. If the film gets into the top 5, you get 5 points. If it's in the right spot, you get another 5 points.
It's a lot of
And
points.
if you guess the total gross within $100,000 above or below, you get another 10 points. That's 5 slots. That's 20 points a slot. That's 100 points total. And this week we have a high score for the season, possibly.
I think it is.
It
I
is
think
a high
so.
score for the season.
I think so. I
And
think so.
definitely a
Still-
solid D minus.
It is still a D. This is Blockbuster Pick-ems. So we talk movies. We talk good movies. We talk bad movies. We talk movies that don't make it to theaters.
We mostly talk bad movies.
And we've been talking a lot about a couple of movies. But before we do, I don't want to hold you guys over any longer. We're going to get into the results. Matt, what happened in the box office and how did that affect the league? Did I make it into the game?
It was a scary box office this weekend. The Nun went viral and hit $53.8 million.
Whoa.
Which is the
The
most of the
Conjuring
Conjuring.
Mama Jama.
Yeah, it was really
See, I didn't
something.
know that. You mentioned that, and I was like, I was just listening to the whole YouTube thing. I did not know this was a part of the Conjuring series.
I didn't either.
I
From
missed
the trailer,
that boat. But yeah,
from the trailer, you couldn't really
good
tell.
job, Mike.
Number 2.
I remember
keeping
you
your-
saying that.
Your minty fresh.
No, I remember you saying it. I'm just
Keeping
saying
your
you
breath nice and
educated me.
fresh. Keeping your breath.
What
just
are you
as
saying?
fresh. It's not the.
I-
Yeah,
What?
It is the just
No, it's
the,
just
no, it's definitely
peppermint.
not the.
It's not
In
the
mine,
peppermint.
It says
I'm
the.
confused what movie you're
Oops.
thinking of.
Peppermint.
I heard breast in there.
Peppermint. No, keep
I was
Oh,
like, how's
fresh.
Crazy
That's
Rich
fine.
Asians pepperminty
No.
fresh?
Peppermint. It's fresh.
I'm
in your
confused.
mouth.
What is
It
this
made
movie?
13.4.
Jennifer
million.
Gardner's
Electra 2.
Peppermint made how much?
13.4 million.
Oh.
Peppermint, Electra 2. Number 3 was Crazy Rich Asians, 13.1. Because of their performance, they have started the hashtag Asian August on Twitter and Instagram.
That I didn't.
Number 4 was The Meg
I don't
at
know what
6
that
million
means.
exactly.
Jason
Number
Statham's
5.
still in there.
And this is another reason why Searching made 4.5 million. This is another reason why we're doing
Wow,
hashtag
isn't
Asian
it?
August. The other one is To All the Boys I Ever Loved on Netflix. It was this big book sensation, and my wife watched it and she loves it because she read all the books, and apparently it was really good, and everybody's watching it.
Good
on
review.
Netflix, so
Sounded great.
that's the
Sounds
three
like
movies
sounds
that
really
have-
good.
I want to
that
read
have
it and
Asian
watch it.
It
protagonists,
sounds
yeah.
really good.
And yeah, so that's what happened in the box
What are we
office.
talking
what
about?
that meant for us for
Crazy Rich Asians. Wait, what
what-
happened to 4 and 5?
I already
He said
said
them.
Yeah,
those.
pay
Jesus.
attention.
Meg
Statham
and
number 4.
Searching.
Searching. Oh yeah, that's right. We were still
Jeez,
on
I
the
just
Asian
was
month.
talking about the hashtag Asian August.
I'm
Hashtag
excited.
Asian August.
Dave
It's
doesn't
no
wanna
longer,
pay attention.
It's no longer August, but it definitely was Asian. So
Deep into September.
when it comes to the gurus, we
It's French for guru.
Lauren scored 60 points, so she got first place.
I sure did.
She guessed She put all 5 in the top right, in the top spot. in the correct spots in the top
In
five.
the top right-hand
in the
corner
top
of my
right-
paper.
In the top left corner
right
of this
spots.
paper I'm looking
Never
at,
writes towards
which
the
is
center.
also a phone.
Doesn't get down towards the bottoms. Stays
She-
upright or corners.
Okay, all right. So she actually got the full 20 on Meg. Put it in the right spot. Guessed the gross, which is so gross.
Huzzah!
Good job, Lauren. In second place was actually myself.
No.
No.
It was.
It says I tied with you in 30 points and I beat you in over-unders.
Yeah, but then
10, 20. Oh,
Mike was in
got-
between.
Mike got
Second
40.
with
40
Yeah.
sorry.
points.
That's why you got last.
It's not just
That's
math
why.
that
Not
Matt
looking
has a
at
problem with.
It's
And
numbers.
It's reading.
Numbers on
Numbers,
paper.
reading.
Numbers on paper.
Illiteracy,
and it
maybe?
is done.
Illiteracy is
It
not a
is
joke.
Done. It really isn't. Actually, I teach kids how to read. So thanks, guys.
I got the
Appreciate
top
it.
5.
That's not a joke.
All movies in the
Mike
top
hit
5.
the top 5. All the movies in the top 5, except he switched Searching and Meg. He gave a little bit more faith to Asian August.
Well, I do got to
and
say,
put
Lauren and I
Searching
were the
before.
only ones that put Searching in our top 5.
We sure
and
did.
I did say last week that I believed that it was going to get a bump in theater count with how good it did in the slower counts, and they did, and it got about 850.
It's a big reason
more
why I'm in last
theaters,
place,
which
Mike.
is why we got that right. So good job.
Nice job, guys.
Great job, Mike.
We're the best.
Good predicting.
And then, me and Dave tied with 30 points, which I alluded to at the beginning of this when I messed up. David was off by 21.2 million, so he got last place, and so that put me at third place, giving me an extra point, keeping me on the top of the standings.
The total gross in
And
the box
I
office
just
in the 5 was
snuck in.
90.8, and Matt, you got pretty close with that with the 84.3.
84.3. I was only off by 6.5.
Dave's
So-
was 69.6, which is a little bit further.
So now believe this. Last
Yes.
week we were talking about
Did you notice the total though? Did you notice the total though?
69.
There's a method.
0.6 for safety.
If you didn't have to type those up, you would never have known how many times I did that.
It was weird.
Um,
Anyway. So in the, actually, we were talking last week what circumstances Lauren needed to have
Well,
to get into
Dave
the
was
playoffs.
completely out last week, so
Yeah,
Dave was just
done.
playing
So it
the.
was just about-
he
the
was
only way I would make it in is if people didn't show up to the podcast.
Yeah, we just stopped.
One by one.
Dave's only role last week was to play the spoiler, and he got last place, so he didn't spoil anything.
You'll have to be
Spoiler.
dealing with me as a I'm being humiliated and judging simultaneously.
and got last place in the regular season.
But we said between Lauren and I,
So-
because it was so close.
Yes, Lauren only needed 3 points to catch up, but the stipulation was Mike had to get last place. And as of the Sunday
Well, and
estimates,
Lauren had to beat my
By
score
20
last
points,
week
yeah.
by 20 points.
Yeah, I just wanted to overcome the first huge hurdle before we overcame the second
Yeah.
one.
There were
Thanks, Mike.
two large.
I
Large
overcame both of them,
hurdles.
but
yeah, she did end up getting the
you
20 point
guys
difference,
failed
but
me.
She did not get the point difference in the Grand Prix
Yes, I
picks.
Well, we were actually
Because
talking
Mike
about this when I
actually
did
snagged 2
some
points.
math on Sunday with the projections of what they thought the box office was going to be when they actually came out the actuals on Monday. Lauren actually had achieved that. I was going to get last place, and she had beat me by over 20 points.
I would have
But
made
the
it
actuals
into
came
the
out Monday,
playoffs.
and I pulled off that second place.
Nice
lucky
job,
Peppermint
Mike.
kept her
Grabbing
breath
my
milky
place
fresh.
in the final playoff.
I like how you grabbed
Right.
that.
So in the overall standings, as it stands,
Who's in fourth? Just please go
Number
from the bottom,
4,
because you always do
David.
that.
number 3, Lauren, number
Which
2,
means
Mike and myself, numero uno.
no, you guys are even right now. You
think you
start
may
off
be.
on the same
I
playing
think
I
field.
don't
18,
value.
so
You- I know
that
you-
first
you-
Oh, you
place,
mean like
'cause
Yeah.
the
on the
first
same-
season?
It's not like I get a first seed.
Matt and
or
I are
anything.
in the finals.
There we
and
go.
the
Yeah,
first
so we said
season-
it.
The very first season, Matt and I were in the finals as well,
Right.
and I actually finished in first, and I
Correct.
lost in the
So
finals.
this
So
might
I
be
have
telling.
no.
Yeah, you have no problem.
and Matt
Problem.
finished
You
first
finish in
last
first
season
right
in the
now.
regular season.
No
and
problem. No
lost
qualms
to
over
me.
here.
That's true. I did. No, I barely squeaked in last season, didn't I? I barely got second, and then you just.
I don't remember.
Oh yeah,
think
that's
I
right.
barely
I was in
squeaked in.
first for a while, and then
I
I
like
stomped.
you.
No
That's
idea.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
that was pretty
It's okay.
exciting.
I just wanted to
Listen
mention that I
season
won last
3
year.
Where it happened. Listen to season 3 where it happened.
Play back the tape.
Yeah.
That's me reversing.
And let's
too.
fast forward.
One more
Let's
time,
fast
one
forward.
more time.
Right there, right there.
Yeah, Dave just finished time traveling.
Oh boy.
I'm so
Dave
sorry.
just Donnie
Lauren.
Darko'd that shit.
I'm glad I don't sit next to
Spoiler
him.
All right. Well.
So yeah, that's
So
all
yeah,
I've got.
basically you're gonna be dealing with Lauren and I. We'll be hosting. Lauren is much better at this than me. But I do
What is
wanna
that supposed to mean?
I do want to give Lauren some credit because on her way out, she was kicking and screaming. She did everything she could, and it was
That's a good
completely
movie.
on me and Matt. Nothing to do
Totally
with Mike.
on you guys.
She got the highest score
We
of
really
the
tried.
season.
She did good.
Good job, Lauren.
I'm just gonna cry.
She'll cry a little bit inside.
All right,
Well-
now you guys get to practice your hosting skills by giving me and Mike.
All right, so what do we do now?
I think we
Mike,
could just shut it down, right? All right, everybody, that was
Is there a
great.
musical
See you
number
guys later.
planned?
Don't turn
Is
those
it-
lights off yet. Don't
Did you
turn
guys
those lights
plan a
off.
musical number? Neil
Blockbuster
Patrick
Pick-ems.
Harris, are you here?
Blockbuster Pick-ems. Okay, so
He's in the back, actually. I brought him.
we will be playing one more week. Well, maybe not but there will be another week of scoring. So we got to get to it. The championship week is serious. I don't want to take it away from you guys.
It's
You guys will
semi-serious.
move on, and you will be going for the trophy next week. So before we get to all of the fun and madness and the picks for the championship, Mike, tell us what movies we have to expect because we will never be able to play this game just guessing.
Just guessing what the movies that are coming out
That's
are.
pretty much what we're
I'm
doing.
Didn't work for
Pretty
me this
sure.
season. So, Mike, over in your movie corner of the week, give us what's up. Give us what's good.
We waited to the second to last episode to have the weirdest intro of Mike's
Yes.
movie corner.
Because normally I do this thing where I go, it's Mike's movie corner of the week, but I'm kind of mad because
That's why you're
normally it's like my
gripping the
favorite
microphone
point in the show. Mike. No,
this
seriously,
is,
seriously. Let me give you a real. Let's go scoot over to our favorite part of the show, Mike's movie corner of the week.
That's better. I like that. I feel the energy a little more.
I gave you a little point,
yeah,
too, so.
I
was the
felt
musical
I felt
number
the
they were
energy
playing.
from the
Good.
I'm breathing
For
really
the
hard.
finger point.
This is an R-rated movie of the week this week. Exactly. Starting with coming from Fox, soon to be Disney.
They have to put that as an
3,900.
asterisk.
Well, when you think about it, like Alien and this movie, Predator, are soon to be Disney-owned.
I can't wait for that wing of
Which is
Disneyland.
gonna,
It's gonna be awesome.
where the alien jumps out,
Yeah,
grabs your
yeah,
face,
yeah.
and then Mickey's
The
like,
face
"Oh,
hugger,
what
yeah.
do I do?" Coming in over 39.
Matt's going to be aroused heavily by that
I may work
experience.
there, too.
Two things: Mickey Mouse and Alien is grabbing your face.
His
Not gonna be
favorite.
the only
The
person
Predator.
working at Disneyland that's aroused. All right, keep
Whoa.
going.
Hey,
Nah, I know never to go to Disneyland with Dave.
yeah,
I said
That's
working.
why you have that
Jesus,
restraining
I don't
order.
work at Disneyland. I'm just saying, come on, like people get a lot of kicks out of that.
Anyway, Mike,
Don't sue me, Disney.
They already
I'm
did. We just got the
fucking
lawsuit
around.
right now. The Predator. A young boy accidentally triggers the universe's most lethal hunters. Return to Earth. Only a ragtag crew of ex-soldiers and a disgruntled science teacher can prevent the end of the human race. Yeah. It's Predator.
Did you guys hear about the
I didn't know
news?
anything about I did hear about because the director Shane Black he was actually in the original Predator. He also
news.
directed Nice Guys, Iron Man 3, and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. But it's also starring Olivia Munn. And is this the story you're talking about?
yeah.
Olivia Munn was actually put into a scene with a guy. Can you elaborate a little bit more? on
Yeah,
this
so she's a little upset at the director. The
Shane
movie's getting a lot of acclaim for like what it is, and people like do this all the time at premieres, but everybody is enamored with this director. But Olivia Munn just found out that she was in a scene during
with
the
the guy.
movie
It's like a small scene.
with a convicted sexual offender, and he's been the guy's last 3 movies.
He's buddies with Shane Black.
And her issue, yeah, exactly. Her issue is that this guy has been
Found guilty.
found guilty
he has
of
said he is guilty.
assaulting an
14.
14-year-old girl. It's really young for, it's not like it's illegal, obviously, but it's also like young.
Well, what she's upset
girl.
about is that no one was
No one notified
about
her,
his
yeah.
transgressions, and
Especially it's sensitive
by law,
now, yeah.
you have to do that. You have to make sure that everyone's comfortable.
Right,
and
it's
that
like-
out there. Like
yeah.
it's not illegal to hire the guy, but it's illegal to keep that information from the people.
So
with.
she is, let's say, not taking part of the promotional tour.
I read that they took that scene out.
That's
of
what
the
I heard,
movie as
too.
Yeah,
well.
but she's still mad
I
at
wouldn't
that,
be very
which
happy.
I would be too.
This is also starring Jacob Tremblay, the little kid from Room, not The Room, and
one with
Thomas
Bree.
Jane. Thomas Jane, our favorite Punisher,
yeah.
starring as well.
Yeah, he's my
Is that the
favorite
guy
Punisher.
Is that the guy from Walking Dead?
No, that's not.
It's my favorite Punisher. That's my Punisher voice.
Coming in over
Watch out,
3,000
tough.
theaters from Lionsgate. Like I said, a lot of R-rated movies coming out this week. A Simple Favor. Stephanie, a mommy vlogger, seeks to uncover the truth behind her best friend Emily's sudden disappearance from their small town.
What is this again? I'm sorry.
A Simple Favor. I've seen the trailers for this. This is the one with Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively. I did not know what that was the movie was about.
No,
I saw the trailer several times, and when
And
I read the description, I was
like, this is gonna pull some of the crazy Asian
I thought this was like almost like a
audiences, and then it just-
Devil Wears Prada kind of thing.
Right.
Like she becomes the assistant to this kind of like higher class person. But then I was like, wait, she becomes missing. What is this about? So
Yeah.
I thought
very
it was like a
confused.
Gone Girl. When I saw
It is like a suspenseful thriller.
Isn't it funny how they do that? Like sometimes it'll be like even like I would even be interested in a lot of these movies either way. It's just they completely will sell you on a whole other type of movie if they think that you'll go to it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's tons of movies that have done, especially
Like
horror
Mother?
movies. It seems to be either make a horror movie look funny in the trailer or do the exact opposite. Take a kind of funny movie with horror elements and make it look like a super intense
Well, and
thriller.
a lot of times it's like they cut the movie, they see what it is, and they're like, well, how can we market this thing to people
Right,
that
yeah.
will actually come
and they'll
see
end
it
up
and stuff.
marketing it like as a completely different movie.
Yeah.
Because like their idea doesn't really work.
But I mean, to be fair, when I watched the trailer, I had no idea what this was about. So I guess they had to do something with it. So, but this is directed by Paul Feig. He's been active for a long time, but he recently directed the new Ghostbuster movie as well,
Yeah.
which is a very different take.
Yeah.
I
he
would love
actually
to see
like
some ghosts
came
in
from
this
these
movie.
types of movies, I think. So this might be like going back home.
Damn, I'm going home. Another rated R movie from Studio B, coming in over 2,400 theaters. White Boy Rick, which I thought this was White Boy Rich, which is why my K's look so weird because I literally
Because I was
Rich
not
on
writing
everything.
K's.
So I'm like,
Crazy
oh, it's
Rich
Rick.
Asians,
That's why I was
Crazy
like,
White
Boy
Rich.
White people aren't crazy, so we gotta make.
Yeah, that's like a
in
Freudian
Florida.
slip there.
Yeah.
White boy, Rich.
This is starring Richie Merritt, I've never heard of, and Matthew McConaughey. All right.
Is this just a different take on The Walking Dead? White Boy Rick? No.
I was doing The Walking Dead before
We're
they
really
asked me to do
shifting
The
to
Walking
in
Dead.
this
What
episode.
is
Are we
Rick,
sponsored?
No.
I didn't know that.
No, but this week on AMC,
Where's this money going?
5 Little Midgets.
So this
Oh, that's A&E. Wait,
no.
which one's that?
AMC
TBS.
would
we're
be
getting
we
our
want Kevin
sponsors
Smith.
mixed up. This is a story of a teenager, Richard Wersch Jr., who became an undercover informant for the FBI during the 1980s and was
While he was a
ultimately
teenager?
arrested for drug trafficking and sentenced to life in prison. Sorry, guys, I spilled it for you.
Yeah, that movie's over.
That's all you need to
Is he
know.
White Boy Rich?
He was a teenager?
Yeah, he's a teenager.
No, don't
Wait,
tell
he
us.
was an
We'll
FBI
find out.
informant and then went to jail for all the things he did.
Well, I don't know the story, and I feel like if we just say it, people are just gonna tweet at me and be like, "You're wrong. What the hell's wrong with you?" But I believe he was a teenager who grew up in a tougher neighborhood, and he had connections, and then he kind of like worked with the FBI to make those connections, but also like used his position to traffic drugs.
You're wrong.
Are you already? Is this?
I'm
like
tweeting at you.
Is this the new tweeting?
You're
Like,
wrong.
you just walk up to someone. You're
Hashtag
terrible.
you're wrong.
If people
just
could do that,
tweeted you.
Twitter would not exist. If people could actually say what they think in front of people's faces.
I want to say it to you while you're not in front of my face, though. Also,
That's what Twitter is.
I want to type.
Yeah,
it
but,
on
like,
the
I want
page
both.
straight in the face, like-
There is one movie coming out that is not rated R. It's PG-13 from Pureflix. The movie Unbroken: The Path to Redemption, coming in 1,525 theaters, is based on the Laura Hillen. I should have looked up how to say her name. Hillenbrand's best-selling book.
Sure.
I wrote it weird too. It's the sequel to the 2014 Unbroken. It's the next chapter in the Olympian and World War II hero Luis Zamperini.
That movie was actually
A
pretty
true
interesting.
story of the forgiveness, redemption, and amazing grace.
Was
It
pretty
actually
interesting.
was in theaters, yeah.
Did you see it?
It sounds.
Angelina Jolie directed it.
It
She
sounds
did.
religious.
It
that's what I was gonna say. It sounds like a
it's-
sequel to the
the
movie that
first one
came
was
out
about
last
how
week.
he became a war hero in World War II.
But it
This
was
one
also
the
very
aftermath.
religious.
But it's based off of the book by
They were
Warren.
flying a B-24 bomber over the Pacific, and then they crash land, and he's like on the boat, and
And he
nobody's
is-
like rescuing him, and he sits there and says, "If you can get me out of this, I swear I'll be your servant for the
Blow
rest
you?
of your life." You know, kind
Oh.
of thing. He's
Mm.
talking to God. So,
Oh,
and then he ends up. Yeah, he
Sorry,
becomes a
sorry,
POW, and
sorry.
yeah, no,
This
he
I do
doesn't
not
say anything
believe
about
was
blowing.
directed by Angelina Jolie. I did not write that down, but
Okay.
those those are the movies of the week.
All right,
Sounds good.
This is
Learn,
intense.
Write things down.
These picks that you are about to hear, disclaimer, are very, very important. Why, you might ask? Well, because it's the final picks of this season. So, first off, here's how this works. We don't go off of the point system from the regular season. So, we're really hoping that they have different picks today. If they pick, for any reason, the same exact gross and we hit a tie, tie goes to the runner, so we'll be having a foot race. But hopefully
Matt's gonna beat me. He's
they
got
have
long
different
legs.
picks. We're not a perfect
We
game.
have no idea whether
So-
or not these are going to be different.
So
Mike, are they different?
the battle is on. This
We-
isn't a round.
Yes, no?
I don't know.
I think they're the same.
I don't know.
My
This
picks
is
are the best.
Interesting week. It's a little bit.
I think they're the
interesting.
same, Mike. I think you and I picked the same thing. We've been just so consistently picking the same
No,
thing.
you
Lauren and
haven't.
I have been
I'm
more
pretty sure that
consistent
you
than anything else.
didn't
Lauren and I
win
been
last
doing
week.
that.
Rumble.
Just because it didn't happen. Yeah,
I wanna be a part of it.
Exception was last
God.
week.
All
All right.
we
Well,
doing this?
Well.
This isn't a round. This is the championship. It's for all the glory. It's for
Round.
the belt.
The championship
I
round.
was getting to that.
Hey, Mike, you and I made a
High five! Whoop, bam!
I'm so happy I have you as my
Can you-
best
All right,
friend.
so
All right. So
Can you make a
Lauren was
stretch out?
humiliated this week with a movie. Lauren.
Good thinking.
I'm just gonna go straight into my thing, and then we're gonna wrap it up. Is
All
that
yeah.
good?
Wrap it up
So
with
Mike wins.
All right.
Oh, I'm okay. With that.
Let's just finish the podcast.
Oh, so are we starting with the? We're starting with the humiliation film.
No.
No,
She
no,
just
no.
wants to be done with
I'm
our
totally
shenanigans.
fucking around.
Okay.
This is the championship round. So strap up or stand up,
Or
whichever
on.
makes you more comfortable.
Do you want
Strapping
me
or
to- do I need to
standing.
stand up?
No, Matt, sit the fuck down.
Too
All
tall,
right.
your head will be out of
Um,
frame.
Yeah, definitely.
You can stand up and walk away.
Mike,
It's okay.
Mike was able to survive. I'm gonna let Mike go first.
Thank you.
And Matt's got some experience at this. I don't think he's missed a championship
I
yet,
have not. I've
motherfucker.
LeBron this shit from season 1.
LeBron wins less titles than you, unfortunately.
2? Yeah.
Now he's a Laker.
I'm,
think-
I'm 50.
I
50 right
just
now.
think that you're
500.
like
50
3
years
for
old?
4, so I think LeBron's done a tiny bit worse than
I'm
that.
2
All
for
right,
4.
what?
So far, two of 3.
2 of 3, right?
But
Oh,
we'll
sorry.
be able to find out.
Oh
Maybe I'm
shit,
3
you're
of
even
4.
better. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Mike, take it away.
I put at my number one movie, The Predator. I put Predator at number 1. I put it at 32.8 million.
Hold on. Just let him.
I put it around there because the highest grossing one, I think it was Predator Alien versus Predator, and that made 38.2 million in 3,300 theaters. But it's been a while since there was like a good Alien or Predator movie. Yeah, I bashed the Alien movies. So I put Predator. I think it's funny that the Alien movies try to be more serious and like try to be like an artistic film, and then Predator's just like, let's just have a bunch of explosions and badass stuff happening. So I like that Predator's taken there, but I don't think it's gonna get up to 38 million.
The franchise is like connected for a second,
Yeah,
and then went right back to where they were.
Yeah. I would like to see Michael Fassbender in this movie, but I put it at $32.8 million. I put The Nun at number 2. I gave it a certain amount of drop. Took
A
drop.
number
Not
drop.
one.
I gave it a big drop, around a 54% drop somewhere. Yeah, 54%
Wow.
drop. The other ones are around that as well, and this didn't get the best of reviews, so I gave it $24.7 million. Number 3, I put A Simple Favor. It's coming out in a lot of theaters. It's got Anna Kendrick in it. I don't think it's going to make a whole bunch of money, but I do think it's going to make some, and I put it at $18.8 million. I might be way too high on that, but it is coming out in a lot of theaters, so I gave it that.
But either way, you're high.
Number 4, Stick It In, Crazy Rich Asians. I put it in there.
Sticking in. David,
Wait,
Mike's
what
sticking
film
it
is
into-
this?
So-
I gave it
into
a
Crazy
bigger
Rich
drop than it has been getting. I gave it $7.8 million. I think it's finally going to get an actual big drop. And then number 5, man, this I almost put Peppermint in there, but I put White Boy Rick in there at $7.1 million. Because I don't know, Peppermint just did so bad last week, and I think it's gonna not be in there.
All right, let me tell you something. I've done this a couple of times. I remember the first time we did this, Matt kind of came into this nervous. We didn't know how it was going to work out. when I beat Matt, he did not look like that. I saw either two things is gonna happen: Matt's gonna slaughter again,
Or Matt's gonna lose.
or he's gonna fall flat on his face. But either way, Matt showing no poker face whatsoever. Very happy with Mike's picks.
No, I'm actually just happy that it turned out that we were right. They were very similar.
Oh, okay.
We only switched to one of them.
I'm
Or
sure
two
it's
of
So
them.
they're
number
not
5
that
from-
similar.
So they're-
very similar. No.
So there will
Matt,
be
there's
a
only
winner.
5
Yes,
spots.
there will be.
There's
there
not
will
10.
be someone
I got a
who-
whole bunch of other ones. I can keep going.
Unless we're
Number
both completely
16.
off. Like,
And in number 20,
yeah, like
Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Hotel
Out of
Transylvania
1,000
comes
points,
back or
I've scored
something.
10.
This is hard. This
I
game's
think
hard.
no joke. I think it like the Black Panther is still riding the top 20. So I mean,
Yeah, it's still like in theaters.
That'd be a
Watch it,
safe.
it's
It
on
just
Netflix
wanted to
now.
break that
It's on
what, that
Netflix.
1.7 billion or something like
Oh,
that.
so Matt, what are your
So
top 5?
I agree
Not that I
with
care.
you for your top 3 picks, Mike. Number 1, I gave it to Predator. I compared it a lot to Predators, the one that had Adrian Brody in it. Was that who it was, or was it his brother?
sure.
It was Adrian Brody.
It was
It
Adrian.
No,
was,
it's
it was
Brody.
Adrian
No,
Brody.
he has a brother.
Okay.
He has a brother who's an actor. But I compared it
was
to that
Adrian.
one, and I thought that one looked really cool and gritty and neat. But Predator looks better, so I'm gonna give
It's
it.
getting good reviews.
I'm giving it 30.1 million, so it's a little shy of what you gave it. And then number 2 is The Nun for me. Yeah, let's talk about this one for a second. Cinema score of C+, C-, something like that. Like, and I was talking to some people I know like to go to the movies a lot, and I was like, with horror movies, it's like the Transformers thing. The cinema score should be high. People want to go see it because it's scary, because it's an explosions and robots fighting each other, right? And just the fact that people came out of it going, that was stupid,
it's
and it
kind
ended
of what
up
Dave
getting
was
a bad,
alluding to earlier about
Yeah.
how the trailer shows a
just
different
sucked
movie and
people in. Yeah, so The Nun people. One of my students that I teach was like, it sucked. Just in the middle of class, I was like, "Anybody go see The Nun this weekend?"
I thought
and
it was just
"It
random.
sucked." Yeah, they're just
Matt's
So let's
sitting there
talk
like,
about U.S.
all right,
geography.
guys.
That sucked.
yeah.
Matt,
so you
aren't
guys
all
ready to
of
learn
your
about
all of your
voting?
kids under the age of being able to watch a rated R movie?
No, they're all set. The
Matt,
kids who I
why
asked
are you
were seniors.
asking them
They were
if
all
they're
seniors in
watching
high school, so
rated
they're
R
17 or
movies?
18.
What a teacher.
No, she was. Even if the kids are
What a
14,
good
they're like, my
influence.
mom's totally letting me go see it.
Wait, I
this
still
weekend."
haven't heard your price for now.
Anyway, so The Nun, I'm going to give it 21.0, so it took a pretty big drop for me.
Similar.
Really big drop.
That's
Almost, more
about
than
like
half,
a
yeah.
58.
You mean
Yeah,
you
like
think
close
it's
to
going to take a
60%.
big drop?
I'm going to go 21 even on The Nun. Number 3, A Simple Favor, although I did not give it as much as you did, Mike. I was looking at some
It's
of
a
the
hard
estimates.
movie to pin
Yeah,
down.
some of the estimates were suggesting anywhere between like 11 and, like you said, 18 million, but I'm going to go on the lower side and say 11.9 for A Simple Favor, so that could be the difference. We never know what happens. Number 4, I'm going to give it White Boy Rick. I think that one is going to have enough of a bump to get it to 4. I gave it 8.1, which is still on the lower side of its prediction.
I put 7.1.
Some people
so-
predicted anywhere between 6 and 9%, or 6 and 9 million. So I'm just gonna say 8.1 million. And then number 5, Crazy Rich Asians, taking another 40% drop and going to 7.8 million. Mike, Crazy Rich Asians, and you and I.
7.8?
7.8
Oh my
on Crazy
gosh.
Rich Asians.
I hope
is
we both
exactly
nailed
a
that one.
40% drop from last week. Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, well, Lauren, we've heard their picks.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. I just want to I want to ask Lauren one question. So we've heard their picks and they're very similar. If you had to put like this bundle of hundreds down on it,
If it was
like
real hundreds.
right now,
It is.
Those are real.
whose corner are you in after hearing those picks?
Do you want to look at
Well, I don't think White Boy Rick is going to do that well, so I would say that I'm putting it down on Mike.
Lauren's
Plus,
putting
I
her
also
money
I
down.
also just I don't like what you said about us
I
earlier.
would actually prefer
Matt?
you put the dice on me, Dave.
Well, who
There's
says
dice
I'm
in the
putting
bucket.
shit on you, bro? Because Mike's on fire, dude. Mike's gonna take this one. I think that here, keep
I'm going to
going.
roll the dice on Mike.
Roll it, winner.
Well, honestly, it comes down
Is it
to
a 7? Did he get a 7?
No, it's a
Yeah,
4.
it comes down
It's the
to
Which is
how
my
good
favorite
White
number.
Boy Rick does, and it comes down to how well A Simple Favor does. Because
I think Anna Kendrick's kind of a winner, and I think you missed the boat on that one.
She hasn't had a lot of great, and that was hard because I think I agree. I'm a big Anna Kendrick fan. I think she's awesome. And if you take out the Pitch Perfect movies, she hasn't had a lot of winning movies. There was that one movie about like the reject table at the wedding.
Twilight. Oh, what?
Twilight. If you
Yeah,
she
she's in
was
the
like
Twilight
secondary.
Was she?
Yeah, she was. She was like the friend that's like whatever.
I didn't see Twilight.
I saw the first
I'm
one.
lost.
And never saw
Staring
it.
straight at the audience when she said, "I didn't see Twilight." I didn't see Twilight.
But yeah, it's kind of come because everything else we
She's
have
so
is pretty
excited
close.
about that.
Predator we
She
have
always
pretty
tells
close.
people.
The Nun we have really close. Obviously, Crazy Rich Asian we have exactly on the same numbers. So it just comes down to those two movies.
I'm excited.
Are we
I'm really
making an
excited,
agreement
actually.
right now that we're not gonna? Look
Yeah,
at
and
anything
if you do
stuff?
and I find out, you lose. That's the.
That's the rule.
Okay, that's a great
It's
agreement. I will
when
not
we
look.
were in the championship round because we make an agreement that we don't look at any research on the movies. We don't look at any of the predictions. Brad Breivik comes out with like his predictions on Thursday night, tonight, or they're probably already out. And I'm prone to looking at those and seeing how close our projections are to an expert like Brad Breivik are, and then looking at all the projections of the weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But it's kind of muscle memory to like want to hit up like Box Office Mojo and look at
Yes.
it. But
just
Very
to
much
see
so.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
on
It's
Sunday
impulsive.
morning.
but agreement
While I'm
right
checking my
now.
fantasy,
I
just
I
hit.
will. Yeah, we got fantasy football now, so I will not look at any
Are we doing
anything.
right
Are you going left? Right?
No, I thought you were going to give me like a high.
That's what I
We're
thought.
also going to start a GoFundMe page to pay for Matt's movie pass and NFL Red Zone. So I'll hit you guys all up.
Thank you.
There are a lot of good causes
No, I
out
don't
there, and
wanna-
we know you can donate to any of them. But Matt needs Red Zone.
I do need Red Zone.
I just real quick on GoFundMe. Like I hate the people that put up their birthday parties. It's like amongst like.
Oh, dude, my buddy.
Like I have cancer. Like I really could use help. Like okay, my kid passed away. We're trying to get stuff together for his service, and then there's like it's my 18th birthday coming up. Me and my friends.
Dude, my buddy, I won't say his
Wanna
name.
get
You
naked
guys
and
know
streak
him. You
through
probably
the quad.
saw this on Facebook, but
No.
he did a GoFundMe to try to get people to pay for his European trip.
Oh, really?
No way.
He made $300.
I saw one
I'm
guy
going to
who-
Europe. Get me drunk.
I already got the ticket stuff, but I don't have enough money anymore.
One guy did one that was like, need to get surgery. I'm a rich man stuck in a poor man's body.
That's
Help
fucking
me.
sick.
He just like was just sitting in front of a camera.
I would give him money. Maybe not you, Matt. All right, here we go. Lauren.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a movie you had to watch. I
You
gave
got-
you a movie.
You
got,
did.
You got
She got a
humiliated
movie.
by Mike. Mike, please preface this a little bit for
I know
us.
nothing about this movie except that it's a kid's flick and it's called Cirque de Freak, the Vampire's Assistant.
Sure is.
So Lauren, why don't you tell us a little bit about this winner?
It's an hour and 40 minutes.
Good start.
It didn't feel like an hour and 40 minutes,
Shorter or
so.
longer?
Too long?
No, it felt like when it ended, it was supposed to just get started. Is kind of what it
Oh.
felt like. It was really weird. So,
Do you feel like they made it thinking that they were going to make a sequel to it?
yeah, no, seriously, they left it open, and I was like, oh,
Was
is that the credits?
was
Oh, shit,
Was the
okay.
entire movie just opening stuff? Like,
It felt like it was the
was it
beginning of all
18
of these
movies?
stories. Yeah, right. No, not quite like
The
Glitter.
next Twilight.
So essentially what happens is we open up and there's this kid who's inside of a coffin and he's playing his video game and he's alive inside of this coffin.
That's where I like to play my video
Did
game.
we know it was a
And-
coffin before? Was it?
yeah,
an
because it's like a
establishing shot
pan
of the
down. So you
coffin?
go to
Like
like
a grave.
to the
okay.
funeral and then it's like
Okay.
this kid's talking and then you see he's like oh, my best friend Steve, and it's the guy touching the
coffin.
coffin. And he goes, that's not me, that's my friend Steve. And then it goes into the coffin and it's the kid and he's playing a
Playing his
video
little
game.
Game Boy or
Right, so you're like,
Dude.
okay, is faked his death? Like, I don't really understand.
Strong
So then
start.
like
pull the Tom Sawyer.
you know, back
Rewind
up.
Dave, what's a rewind look like?
All right. Anywhoozle.
Stop this!
Play, push play.
Every time you guys use a VCR from now on,
It's gonna hurt. Dave.
Like I use it every day of my life. Anyway. So
roll the
then
dice.
Stop.
So it rewinds. Don't rewind it.
so we back up
Yeah.
and this kid is like obviously the goody two shoes and like his friend by the way, Steve. I think his name
I
was
like
Steve.
Steve so far.
His Josh
Sounds like a
Hutcherson.
dick.
Oh,
from
young Josh Hutcherson.
I mean, it was 2009, not that young.
He's pretty young still, though.
It's like
He's
16.
still well of course,
23,
yeah, but
24.
I would have
Yeah.
said 12 now.
Yeah, he's going backwards.
this was
Never mind.
still not that long ago.
Okay.
So he's in this movie and then
Tom Button.
he's like the best friend, and he's like, "Oh, you're such a good kid, you know, Darren. Like, why are you such a good kid?" And he goes, "I'm not a good kid." And he goes,
sounds like a
"Oh,
rude dude.
you always do what your
Yeah,
you always do what your parents say." And he's like, "No, I don't." And he goes, "Yeah, you do." And he goes, "No, I don't." And then like that's the end of that. And then this car,
Argument. That was the harshest
won?
argument they had in their whole friendship.
Who won?
I won.
Hilarious.
And then this car drove by. It was a purple car, and they do these weird effects where they do like these like fast and then like slow down, but it's like really bad editing and like really bad transitions where they like fade everything into like it like melt. I don't know. It's really weird.
Nice.
Anyway, so this car
Like it
zips
was
by,
Goosebumps or something?
and it like it's a purple car, and it's like a little bit like of a haunted, like almost like
An
a
older looking car.
yeah, it
Of a
almost looks like a
haunted
hearse,
variety.
but
It's a
not a
hearse.
hearse. No, it
new
looks like
Hyundai
one, but it doesn't. It's
Hunted.
not. So then this thing, this hand throws a flyer out, and it falls to the ground and says "Cirque du Freak Show."
That might be
freakiest.
relevant.
Maybe.
And so they're like, "Oh, let's go to the freak show." And he goes, "Oh, I can't, my parents." And he goes, "Oh, you always do," you know, back to this argument. You always do what your parents
this fight never
say.
ends. 17 years.
So then they
Couldn't
go.
take it anymore. He killed his friend.
That's
He
how
won.
he became a freak.
So they go to the Cirque du Freak show.
From what I saw in the trailer, he snuck out of his home.
Yeah, he snuck out of his home, and they went to
Oh,
the
he
freak
watched
show.
the
I had to watch the trailer to see what I was actually giving
awesome.
her.
So
I've
they
seen the
they
trailer
they
now.
go to the Cirque du Freak thing, and then on the way he goes, "Oh, my friend Max." Is that what I said his name is? Oh, Steve.
No, he goes
Way off.
That's his middle name.
Way off. Stephen Max. Vampire.
Stephen Max Smith.
He
just in case
goes,
you forget to-
"My friend Steve loves vampires, and I love spiders." And it goes like into this thing where it zooms into his ear, and it goes into his DNA strands, and there's like spiders and vampires, and it's really
Okay,
bad
so he's
animation.
Spider-Man.
That's how DNA works, right?
Spider-Man, right?
It's like,
Peter
I don't know,
Parker
it was
is this
just
kid
like,
named Peter Parker.
it was in our DNA. We just love them. And so then they go into the freak show, and it's just a regular freak show, but it's like, all these people are actually like, this guy has like no like stomach, and it's just like ribs, and he opens up his shirt and he goes, "I'm a rib man." And then
I am too, but only when McDonald's comes out with the McRib.
and then they have
Oh
a
my God, Mike.
Seasonal
Mike the
as
Big
in
Red Man.
every
I've eaten
season
that.
all the
It's
You
time.
better start the
There's-
next season with one of those.
No, it's actually
on
my
you.
new podcast, the Mike the McRib.
Mike and the McRib.
there's a lot of cameos in this part too, which is kind of weird. I'm a big 30 Rock fan, and there was a lot of people from 30 Rock, which then made me think, is this like, I don't know who did this movie, I guess. I didn't do any research on
I
it.
was gonna say you got a lot of papers in front of you.
I did, yeah, I took all these notes. I even know the
Lauren
character's name,
lost.
Steve Max.
I guess
I'm
I
not
lost
sure.
too. Lauren and I lost.
Yeah.
Don't forget, Antonio Banderas was the parents of the Spy Kids.
He sure was.
That
Eddie
doesn't.
Trejo was in those.
That's
Yeah,
not
he
relevant.
sure
Those are
was.
good films.
sorry.
Anyway, so he goes, and then this Selma Hayek is in this part too. She's the bearded lady who also is the
She's still hot.
who's the like a psychic, and she sees like this guy Darren, the main character, like always does this weird like he's like confused face where he just sits and he goes, "I'm smiling," really weird.
Yeah, if you're not listening
It's
to the podcast,
definitely
And-
it looks like
weird.
she just died.
And it's like really weird because you don't know really what's going on. So she's like in his face, and she goes, "Death, destruction, triumph, fear," blah, blah, blah. And then she goes, "Wait, what did I just say?" Because it's like she's doing like a prophecy
Words.
and thing, and then he's like, I don't know," and then
So confused by this.
Oh, she's like reading she's probably trying to predict the future.
she is
can see the
predicting, but she
future.
can't hear what she's
But it's
saying
his
whenever.
future?
Yeah, so when she
Kind of
sees
like when
him.
Professor Trelawney.
And then
Stop.
John C. Riley comes
Stop.
out, and he's got a pet spider, and it's like this really weird spider, and he goes, "Oh, one bite and it'll kill you," and blah blah blah. And
Wait,
then
who came out with this?
John
John
C.
C.
Riley.
Riley.
Nice. I
So
need to see
then,
this movie now.
and then Steve
Buscemi.
leans over to Darren and goes, "Oh, this guy's a vampire. I saw him in my book, and blah blah blah, and he's a vampire. I know it. He's totally a vampire."
Because it was said earlier that Steve really likes vampires.
Can we clarify when we say in his book, was he like head deep in the book?
No,
Well,
he's
no,
a
it-
vampire fan, so he reads books about vampires.
It's
It's clarified in the plot, Dave.
Cut to Steve reading a vampire book with a picture of
We
John
have to
C. Riley in it.
clarify that he really likes
So
vampires.
it's not John C. Riley looking at the book. Like
No,
he
it's
had
the friend
he was
Steve
in he was
had a
at-
book that he looked at, and John C. Riley was in the book as a vampire.
Understood.
Any
You're
hoozle.
welcome. I got
Cool.
you.
Thank
you're
you.
in the dictionary under wonderful.
I'm not even trying.
Okay, so then
confused.
the police come and they shut down the freak show and blah blah blah.
As they
Freaks.
should.
And
Was
so
this
then
freak show
Darren
not
runs
legal?
into the back room and hides, and he's
Who
looking
does?
at Darren, the main kid.
Why does he go?
He's
He
looking.
doesn't want to get in trouble with the cops.
So he's looking at the spider and he's talking to the spider and he goes, "Oh,
As
your
one
spider's
does.
my friend." And then he steals the spider, he switches it out,
With
and he
what?
hides like another box, like another cage
another
thing.
spider I had in my pocket.
No, because it's underneath a blanket, so he
Okay.
switches it out and
Spider
then
for
he hides.
spider.
And so then the John C. Reilly comes in with another creepy looking guy, and they're talking, and they're like talking about something, and then Steve comes in and he doesn't know that his friend Darren's in the room, and he goes, "Make me a vampire. I know that you're a vampire. Like, I want to be a vampire too. Like, I don't have anybody." And he goes, "You don't know what it's like to be a vampire," and blah blah blah. And then he goes, "Oh, let me taste your blood." And he tastes it and he goes, "Oh, you have bad blood. You're evil." And he goes,
Steve?
"I'm not evil." Yeah, Steve is evil. And so then he leaves, and then Darren runs because then John C. Reilly finds out he took his spider. So then he runs, and he has this spider, and then he gets loose, and then it's loose in school, and it's jumping around everywhere, and then it bites Steve. And Steve is now got this giant welt on his face, and he's going to die, and he's in a coma. So then Darren goes to John C. Reilly, and he goes, "You got to fix my friend. I need an antidote." And he goes, "You come steal more stuff from me?" And all this other stuff, yeah. And so then he goes, "No, I want the antidote for my friend. I want him to live." And he goes, "Only if you become a half vampire and become my assistant."
Bitch.
And he's like, "It'll be great. You'll be useful. You can run errands for me during the day."
Wait. Time out for just 2 seconds. Didn't he want to become a vampire?
No.
Steve wanted
Steve
to be a vampire.
wanted to be a
Darren
vampire.
didn't want anything to do with it.
He
Darren
wanted to
stole
be a
the spider.
person.
Yeah, he wanted to. His
He just
only
wanted
friend
a
was
spider.
Spider goes crazy at the school, bites Steve,
How big is the spider?
who wanted to be.
It's like a big,
shit,
yellow
no,
and
that's not
orange
cool.
spider that
Yep.
jumps everywhere.
that does
And
seem like a
like,
spider that could be your friend, though.
it's like a
Oh,
vampire
shit.
spider.
Are
So-
we
I
sure
want that
that
Poisonous
the
spider
spider
bites
was
Steve,
in a
and
bat?
Darren, his only way to save him is to
Become a half vampire.
Not
So-
a whole
So
vampire.
because that makes it so he can walk around during the daytime.
Exactly. So he's not like a bloodthirsty
He's
vampire.
like Blade.
Because
Yeah.
apparently there's this
Daywalker.
big thing going on between these vampires where there's
He's gonna
vampirists or something like that, where they kill and they drain the blood of people, and then there's
Nice.
these
They're drinking.
vampires that
So there's good and bad
don't
vampires.
exactly. They're
said
like not
yeasty
bad
vampires?
vampires. They just like
Those are
eat
the bread
bread.
ones.
they only do take a little bit of blood, not like draining people and killing them.
So John, what they just like put him to sleep and
In
take
other
some blood?
words,
So then he goes, "Okay, fine. Like, I'll make you a half vampire and I'll give you the antidote." And he goes, "Okay, sounds good." And he makes him a half vampire in this weird scene where he cuts his fingertips and some
is
shit
there a
like that.
feud between the good vampires and the bad?
Yes,
vampires?
there is. So
Do
then
the bad vampires call the good vampires a bunch of fucking half-assers? or
pretty
what?
much. So
If they
then
had you as,
John C. Reilly takes him over to the hospital and cures his friend, and then Darren is like, "Get away from me."
Wait, he could have taken the friend to the hospital and fixed it there.
No, he was already at the hospital in a coma.
Oh,
so then
he
they goes to
fix.
the
Okay, I was like, whoa, that would have been way easier.
yeah, and he's
Because
got
as we all
this
know,
giant
Western
welt on his
medicine
face.
sucks dick.
So then after he gives him the antidote, Darren pushes all the emergency buttons in the room and then like goes, "Stay away from me, vampire!" And John C. Reilly goes, "You don't know how stupid you look right now," and then he leaves.
Says the guy standing like this.
Yeah, exactly. So then he leaves and he goes, "You're not going to be able to be around your family. You're going to kill them." And then goes and he's at his house
then
and
he
he's like
kills
walking
them.
around with that face again, like.
Why
And
does
he's
everyone
like,
keep saying it's my normal face.
and then he like looks
really
at his
thirsty.
sister
I'm
and
like,
like
"Are you
kind of
shitting
like
me?"
in a weird way, like he's gonna bite her neck and kill her.
His mother.
His sister, his little sister.
Good.
And then he like says goodbye to everybody, and then he leaves, and John C. Reilly takes him to the Cirque du Freak campground, which is like somewhere else, and
It's at Camp David.
pretty much he meets this younger girl who's now his love interest, and we go to Steve, who finds out that his friend Darren is alive and is actually a vampire, and he goes, "You took my life, you bitch!" And he gets taken in by the bad vampires, gets
Steve
turned into a vampire.
He's a bad vampire.
He's a bad
Half
vampire.
vampire still turned his
Kills the
Steve
teacher
into
that
a
thinks he's a
vampire?
bad influence. That's his first kill. And then the bad vampires take Darren's family and the girl that he likes and put them up in the
Why do they
theater.
want-
Someone dies
Why?
in this movie?
Why do they
Yeah.
want Darren? So why do they want?
There's
'cause
some
Steve's all pissed off.
Yeah, there's some like destiny that's going on, and there's a truce that's going to be broken, and there's this guy that can predict the apocalypse and all
There's
this
a truce
bullshit
between the goods and the bads.
right now. And so
and
then
bloods.
this guy steals all of his family members and the important
Crips.
people, and so then Darren shows up and he goes, I want my friends back, and then Steve shows up and he
Motherfucker.
goes, fight me, and
Bitch.
so then they gotta fight each other, and then he finds out the girl that he likes is a monkey girl, and that's why she's at the at the
Happens
circus
every
place.
time.
No, so she's got a tail, so she
Oh, my
unties
God, it
herself from the
hurts.
ropes and then climbs up and saves him.
Wait, he's had a love interest with this girl. He never noticed the tail.
No, because she wears like a skirt and like a pants and stuff, and he
She's
goes,
like
"Why
a
are you
dog who does
here?"
it, just rolls it up. in the
Yeah,
back, you know?
and then
She always has a brown paper bag over it.
no.
He does. He does.
Anyway,
She agreed with me so fast.
yeah, totally, got it. Anyway,
So Steve and Darren have to battle to the death.
Does she
Oh
turn
wow,
into a
you
giant
knew what
ape?
was going on?
so they killed
idea.
they killed the other bad vampire that was helping Steve,
Of course.
and
Was he like the John C. Riley of the bad guys?
yeah, exactly, and he had like taken him in, and then he gets killed, and then
Steve wakes up from a dream and is all
Steve
dream.
is like, oh, like we're gonna fight now, and then this guy stops them, and he goes, well, if nobody's gonna know the truce is out if nobody leaves here, like pretty much Darren says that, and he goes to like fight
Right, so-
Steve and like kill him there, and then he can't kill him, he misses his opportunity to kill him.
Why?
Hesitates, he does the
He's
whole
his
like
buddy.
exactly. And then, and the best part is that their fingernails are like daggers, so their fight scenes are like this.
I was actually waiting for you to mention that. 'cause
Yeah,
I saw that in the
I
trailer. Like,
forgot.
he was teaching him to fight, and it was like, yeah, and it was like karate chops, but
Get
like
your-
how you would teach
Yeah.
an infant how to karate
Perfectly
chop.
would.
Yeah.
I was about to be kind of.
It was like, Kshaw! Kshaw! And like they're like, he's like this. I'm gonna get, and it's like, what are you doing? Like,
Fingernail
it looked like,
Darren, there's a sword right behind you. You should use that. It looks way cooler. No.
so,
I'm gonna
Nails.
get you, I swear.
so this guy who predicts the apocalypse stops him and he goes, oh, now's not the time, but the truce is broken, and he takes him away. And then they're like, okay,
truce
and
is
then
broken.
the monkey girl and Darren kiss. And then
He's like,
John
"What's
C.
it?"
Riley takes him back to the thing, and he goes,
It's not like they kiss you, Mike.
they talk to this other guy, and they're like, oh, okay, well, we gotta leave here, like we have to leave now. And then he's like, let the boy rest, let him rest. And he goes,
Which is a bad idea.
I got him a gift, and he goes into his thing, and he got like a coffin gift, like a bed. He got a new
Aw.
coffin. So he gets in,
Why
and he
won't
goes,
anyone get me a
my name is Darren, and I'm a freak. And then he shuts it, and then that's the end of the movie.
Well, what happened to John C. Riley? Is he okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said let him
Okay.
rest.
Oh, he's the one that bought him the nice coffin.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so-
How
So-
long was this movie?
So this movie
hour
ends
and 40
at
minutes.
the fourth, or at the front of this battle. Apparently, is gonna happen between the good and evil. It was like the big climax
It was
fight
like-
scene felt like there was supposed to be something else afterwards. They kept like talking
part
like
one.
it was like, oh, okay, so now we're gonna do this, and then now we gotta go do this, and now the truce is broken, so we gotta prepare and we gotta battle, and no, we gotta wait, and then done.
Well, the sequel's like Cirque de Freak, the
They could've-
vampire's partner.
Really?
No.
They
Oh,
could have
shit.
at least gone another hour. I would have watched at least another
Why,
hour.
would you have listened to another
I would
hour?
have
No.
watched. I would have watched another hour if like Val Kilmer was like the
Oh, he is. He was the
Grand
guy.
Wizard. the
I was like,
Grand-
I wasn't.
I mean, this has multi. Yeah, I mean,
I actually probably would watch that too.
I wasn't like.
you got animal
upset.
people, you got vampires, you got
Oh,
the
there was a-
KKK. This is a horror film.
There was a wolf man.
Of course.
Yeah, and the
Was
Grand
there a
Wizard.
Frankenstein? Was there like a Frankenstein?
No, but the wolf man in the very beginning of the freak show bites off this woman's hand in the audience. But then you
I
find
hear
out
they do
she's
that
a
at
freak too,
KKK
because then she
meetings.
Oh,
starts
she was a
growing.
hand
plant. She was a
grows back.
plant.
And
She
she
was a
starts
plant.
growing her hand back, and you know
Was
who
there
it is.
some
It's
sort of
Jenna
lizard
Maroney from
creature?
30 Rock.
Was there some sort of lizard creature?
Yeah, and he's the
Illuminati
no, he's the
spokesperson.
roommate of the kid. It's like a super unimportant,
Oh, yeah.
but like
Well, it's just you
the
kinda
guy
put
who
all
plays
those
it.
kind of characters in the kind of
Swamp
movie,
Thing?
Yeah, it-
yeah, like Swamp Thing kind of thing.
But like
Mummy?
the thing is this guy who plays his roommate, who's supposed to be like a teenager who's like in a rock band, is like actually in his like late 30s. I feel like I looked at a real picture of him and I was like, who the fuck is this? And why would he play like a
did this movie
teenager?
come out?
2009.
My
It
name
really
is
wasn't that
Stevie.
long ago.
Wow.
My
Was it in
name's
theaters?
Stevie.
No.
It
Straight
was.
to DVD.
I believe it was in theaters.
No.
All right, well,
Yes.
Beats
That
me.
sounds pretty
All right,
horrible.
so then now David,
Oh, great.
to stick with our Jennifer Gardner theme.
Ooh.
that's a theme that we
The
were doing.
peppermint.
peppermint.
theme.
13 going on 30.
I love that movie.
Shut up, Mike. Shut up now.
The movie is called 9 Lives.
Oh, great.
I almost
Where-
gave this to you.
What? I don't remember who the actor's name is, but he comes
What's
back.
his name?
He comes back as a
That
cat.
Said that he was gay, but then got Kevin.
This is Catwoman
Spacey?
2.
Spacey.
Is it Kevin Spacey?
It was Kevin Spacey.
He
as
comes
the
back
main
as a
guy
cat.
character.
Electra
He's
2
stuck in a
hits
cat's
Catwoman
body.
2.
All right, well.
And
I
it's
can't wait.
Jennifer Gardner talking to the cat.
But more importantly, we're going to be back for the championship. So please join us. This has been Blockbuster Pick-ems.
Lifting the trophy just like this, Mike.
The uranium and all.
I got it.
Mike's not as used to it, but he will get used to it because
My
Mike
hands
will be
My hands burn.
Mike will
Mike
be
has been
holding the
inches
title.
away.
Shh. Let me finish what I'm saying. Mike will be winning over you. I finished saying it. All right. Well, this has been Blockbuster Pick-ems.
Lauren.
Yes.
Look at all that money she's betting on Mike.
We got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 10 episodes done. Hope you
10.
liked it.
It just
Come
jumped.
back for the last one.
We skipped 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
We did
Well,
not.
Just like, we
I
got
didn't
one,
skip
we
it.
got
I was
two,
there
we
for
got
I was
every
here.
I was
single
here. Matt
one.
wasn't. We didn't.
And
tell
if
him
you
about
need
it.
to catch up
Still got
before
first
the
place.
if you need to catch up
Prorated.
before the last and final week, go on YouTube, look up Blockbuster Pick-ems or Arc Rebel Productions, and also check out all of our Twitters. Here are the tags again.
Twitters.
All right. Love you all. Have a wonderful time of day.
Ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-da.
Top trash. It's a smack.
Best podcast in town.